I'd like to start the Open Space Committee meeting, and we are being videoed. It's 2:05, yeah, on July 9th, 2 p.m. All right, did everybody get a chance to look at the minutes from the June 11th meeting? Any changes or alterations? I entertain a motion to accept.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain. Abstain.
Yeah, wasn't here.
All right, next, we're going to review the site walk that we took on July 1st over Manchog Road on Mazinski property, conservation
I
property.
will pass this around. It's my little map with some pictures.
Cool.
The second one is a blow-up of the boundary pin areas because it didn't show on this one. And then with the recommendations of where we wanted to put signage.
So keep it all together. Okay.
Yeah. And then I've got the 25 Conservation Drive, which I can send in the other direction. This was like
We
2
need to make
pages.
paper airplanes.
It was so showed our walk on the over the piece of property and then some of the pictures.
You even have the little sign icon.
Yeah.
That's great.
I kind of like the fact that you had the signs in a different color and they stand out more, you know? Some of these
Well, like
conservation
did
signs
that
are...
just to make it show up on the picture.
Right. Yeah. Guess if they're looking for something, they'll see it. Yeah.
I gave a quick look at the registry of deeds, and there's too many realty trusts on that property before that was broken down. If somebody would have to really do some digging to try to find out what that canal was from.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You need a title search basically to go way back. To see who owned it and then what the use was.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there is no name on that stream going to the, it's coming from Whitens Reservoir going to Mumford River.
That's what I remember Ken Frazier told us, that that is not the Mumford.
It isn't, there's no name.
I mean, it could
started
be
looking on the map.
west branch of, you know.
Well, no. Whitens Res was actually called, I have it written down on your paper, I think, Willis Pond? Willis Pond.
Willard? Or
No,
William?
Willis, I think it was W-I-L, Willis Pond.
Willis.
Wait, on all the old maps. So that drains from there to the Mumford, so I'm really good calling it the Willis Pond River.
Yeah,
Brook.
river, makes sense.
Brook, whatever you, I'd have to look up the criteria for
Mhm.
river and brook.
Yeah.
See which
Well,
one's the-
Wallem Lake Pond is my deed. Wallem Pond, rather, I live
Yeah.
on, which is a big pond. But,
Anyways.
I mean, Northwest Maine ran through the reservoir.
Right.
Yes.
So the pond was on one side or the other, and I
But
mean,
that
Coopertown Brook.
Tributary doesn't connect to the Mumford until just below Manchog?
Yes, past the, does it show it on that map?
You can pass this the
Mumford
other way.
Conservation Area.
Thank you.
Oh, this is only one.
Wrong corner. I have my
Maybe
big
we're back
map.
on the old topo map, there's no name.
No.
Any of them.
Yeah.
I think we can name it.
Why not?
I was surprised to see had a different name before it was White's Res.
So I think it was named the Whitensville Reservoir because of, so this came up when the Manchog Pond Dam ended up being deeded to Sutton to the town, because this all goes back to the specific water rights that feed what. And so the reservoir was eventually feeding probably into Whitensville, where some Whitensville company bought the water rights for that to direct it to wherever they needed it. But it had nothing to do with geography, really. It was the owner's name.
And it might, originally Coopertown Brook that feeds into the small end of the reservoir.
The back end, yeah.
Yeah. This one here is coming from where the dam is.
Right. That all,
Yep.
it joins just in Sutton.
There you go, Becky. That's great.
So go to the Board of Selectmen to recommend this? Tell them about a sidewalk, how's that work?
So, okay, what are we doing first? Because I do have information to add.
Do the site walk first? What do you mean?
Well, there were 2 site walks,
Right.
but do we need to
Yeah.
take action on the conservation area? We need to, what do we want to do, approve those signs?
I think that would be great. Obviously, they're going to cost money, and we have $100 if we could get started, and then when do we get our new $100?
When we make it, because it's the Conservation Commission, we
Right.
go meet with the Conservation Commission, give them our recommendations, this is what we need, who does what.
Right,
Like,
and
will
they
the
have
highway department be able to do the trim the
installation.
side of the road?
Yep,
Clear up the parking lot, and then where's the signage come from?
right, and they have funds for signage,
So,
I believe. So we just need to put the list together. And as you say, go to the Conservation Commission, get on the agenda and say, this is what we want to do.
This is a stupid question, but how do you get on the agenda?
You talk to Jen,
Jen, okay,
Jen in Community Development.
yeah.
But we should have,
Yeah, be prepared for it. But we need to get on that for other things. We need to go to the planning board and whatnot for the CPA stuff, so.
yeah, but that's separate.
I know, but we could do it same night or something. Their next meeting is, one's the 15th and one's the 17th coming up.
Well, Conservation is on Wednesdays now, right?
So that's-
No, Mondays, sorry.
So that's the 15th.
Yeah. So it's probably too late for that? Maybe not.
I'll ask Jen on the way out.
And then, so it's basically, we did a second site walk to put in or mark a potential second loop off the trail, but we're still working on that, right? And in the meantime, the brush clearing, there's at the parking lot around the sign and the brush along the road. And then the recommendations for signage, which is
Yeah,
what you have in that.
yeah, the private property and the street signs too. All right. I want to take a vote on whether we approve to have signs put up or get signs made.
So this is our recommendation to the Conservation Commission, then we're happy to work with them. But there's also, so sign-wise, can they purchase the signs and then can the Highway Department install them? So this is our recommendation to them. We want to see this move forward. I don't, we can vote on it if everybody's in favor of the recommendation, but I don't know if there's anything else we really need to approve until they take some action.
Yep, no, this is good. Yep. All right, I make a motion that we approve, that we vote on whether we approve to go to conservation and have them look at what our recommendations are for signs. All in favor?
But it's other,
Yeah, all in favor of doing that, having signs.
but it's also the brush cutting and the coordination.
Right,
Yeah, it's the-
right,
So it's the whole package.
yeah.
Submitting our recommendations for that
Yeah.
property.
Okay, I make a motion that we vote on accepting the package for the signs and the brush clearing and everything at the Manchog Street Conservation Area.
So as Becky outlined, right, and that's Mumford.
Yep.
Yeah, on
Mumford, I'm
Street,
sorry,
right.
Mumford Road. Yep.
Okay. Second?
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I can help you make it. There are many new members on the Conservation Commission, and it would also be great, they probably haven't been out there, and it would be great to see if they would like to do
But they have new members.
They would like to do a site walk sometime.
Good idea.
So we could urge them to get out there with us sometime.
Yep.
Or maybe they'd like to do that before they approve the improvements, who knows?
Okay, so then where does Conservation Drive go?
Oh, so Conservation Drive, I was able to reach the assessor, Chris Popka, and basically, from his perspective, is that this would be a donation to the town that would have to be accepted at town meeting. So then I also sent an email to Matt Wojcik. I haven't heard back yet, but I'm going to work with him on how exactly that wording needs to be constructed so that it gets on, it gets into the pipeline for the November town meeting, I think is when we're going to have it. And so that the town can vote to accept the donation.
Right.
But I need more details on exactly how best to go about that, so I will keep you posted, but. And I also didn't get a chance to look at, did anybody get a chance to look at the town property behind this?
This is all this back here is town property.
Yeah, I was just wondering if anything stood out or
Behind Conservation Drive?
behind this parcel.
I know on this side, this over here is kind of clear.
Yep,
If I had done just the plain old aerial photograph, it looks like there's trails or something in there, or
Okay.
something was cleared. So that bridge abutment, if you got a bridge back in there, those bridge abutments, then you will be able to scoot up that way.
okay.
That's one thing I did notice, I'm like, oh, that looks kind of openish.
And
Right.
you've seen the Duval Road layout online. You can see where the conservation land is going to be along the river, whether they've, designated those lots and those are the final lots, I'm not sure, but I haven't seen that.
Yeah, there were no lots down in here, because the river area was all,
But did it show you where, because they just transferred the deed a couple months ago, right? That there is conservation land deeded to the town, not associated with particular lots, I don't think, at this point.
Right.
Could you see that online, or?
You could see that the divided pieces were clustered up against Duval Road and Forest Road and up in that corner, and the river's off to the southeast from that.
Okay.
And there weren't any, divided spots there, so. Do you remember how many lots? It's 40 or something? It was 44 or something like that.
Well, this,
I can pull up a map that shows that this whole section is supposed to be conservation, with this attached to it.
okay. I can do that too, I just haven't had time. But I was just curious about what it looked like. Because don't forget that, I think according to Map Anoint, a lot of that is natural heritage, so at least for trails and concepts, things like that, we have to keep that in mind before.
So Becky thinks this would be good to just use these as minutes for our last meeting, for the site walk.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so I entertain a motion to accept these two packets as minutes for the site walk on the 1st of July. All in favor? Aye.
You didn't have a
I'll
second.
take second.
A second. So I guess it would be a good thing to go on record at this point to say that we want to see the town accept the gift of 25 Conservation Drive, and that we will pursue whatever due diligence is needed to accomplish that for the November town meeting, or other recommendation.
Were you talking about the owner wanting some kind of compensation, or is that just,
It's premature,
yeah?
and that's basically in his ballpark, if he needs that, so.
Yeah.
But I think we should go on record, so that's my motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Second.
Aye.
Favor? Yeah.
Could you call for that vote again? I didn't really hear it.
You'd like to make a motion that?
No, I did make a motion.
Okay, yeah.
I seconded it.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so- Keven property, 2 more estimates needed.
I don't understand why we need, the town is supposed to put out
A bid or something.
a bid request, aren't they?
I don't know.
Isn't that how this works, if I understand that correctly?
So,
Why is that? I don't understand.
okay, so I was wondering about the timeline. Do they have to wait until July 31st?
When are the funds available? The July 31st or July 1st?
I thought it was
Fiscal
July
year.
1st. Fiscal year is July 1st.
Yep.
So they should be able to put out a bid package that says, this is what we're looking for this particular project. we should not have to solicit
Yeah, that's-
funds, anything independently.
So who should put the bid out? Who should ask for it?
Community development. I think Matt Benoit should be spearheading that. We need 3, if that's the case, for, what was it, just under 5,000?
Yeah.
So we have 1, and we need 2.
No,
Well, no, because the request for bids has to go out. The company that gave us the bid, I have to let them know when that goes out to bid, so they can submit their bid
Ah,
officially.
they gave us an estimate.
Yes.
So we could go to town meeting and get some set of funds. Now, that's moving ahead, so the town officially has to request, has to put together a bid package, and, which we should be able to participate in, and then advertise it, so that anybody else who is interested could submit a bid, and then we could say, okay, which one moves forward with this project? But it's not up to us to find the other vendors.
all right. Well, I will take that on and go up and see Matt. Ask him to do that. All right. Hemlock Street appraisal. Did they ever get one? We never found out. We asked for that, right? I wrote a letter to them, the Board of Selectmen.
So we can ask Lisa if, what action they took, but it's my understanding that they voted to take no action on that. So, since, if you wrote a letter, it would be nice if we were informed of their decision at some point, but we could go back and watch the meeting, but that's time consuming, so
I'll ask.
it would be good if you could confirm where we stand.
For old business, I was driving along and I saw a rock splitter on Route 20 in Charlton. A person that does it for a living, so I could get the information if we ever wanted to do keeping property kind of thing. Or that would be more our thing, or whether it would be the bid that we put out or whatever. I'll keep the address. Okay, that's about it. Any new, old business anyone wants to add?
Should show you Carter Space, that's Carter Field, across, just before the Stone Ridge Bridge on Wallen Lake Road.
Mm-hmm.
That piece of property, it's owned by the state. We heard rumblings that they're going to be putting a new fire station there. So I got in touch with the fire chief, fire warden chief for the whole
Mhm.
state, and chatted with him last night. It's in the exploratory stages right now, because I guess the existing building on the other side of the bridge, there's no water there. I never knew that.
There's no well?
There's no water, no boils.
There is an outhouse behind her. In the blizzards, I've gone down there.
So I guess something came up for capital improvements, and that was one of the things to do that, so I don't know if they could explore expanding there or expanding in Carter Field. The only reason we jumped on that was because we use that informally for parking for trailers, and it's also a connection, trail connection, to keep us off of the road and
Yeah.
going over that narrow bridge.
Mhm.
So he's going to keep me in the loop on that. And he actually said, well, it sounds like a good idea to make that a formal parking lot, now doesn't it?
Well, then you're gonna, yeah, you're gonna get
He's
some
the
other.
worst person.
Finally.
Yeah, it seems that wouldn't it be easier just to drill a well on the side of the street that they are on?
Unless they want, I don't know, it's an old building, so it's, like he said, right now, he said it's 100% in the exploratory stage.
Well, we can look also and see how much property is that building actually sitting on?
It's a bit.
So,
To the right of it, it's all open.
yeah, so there's no reason why they couldn't reuse that footprint for that site, except they need to drill a well, but wouldn't they have to drill a well at the field too?
Yes.
Yep. Because there's no
Maybe
water
they want a
going
bigger
out there.
building, and depending on the shape of that building.
Right.
So, I mean, there's nothing in there for plumbing, there's no toilet, I mean, that's a lot of, you're better off starting from
Scratch.
scratch
Oh,
than trying
yeah.
to rehab that
But I mean, use that site
for something, yeah.
for the new station.
But, yeah, it's like, they're
Right, okay.
just out there. He said, we are so far at the beginning. I said, well, good, this is where I want to be.
Yeah,
I
at the
want to be
beginning.
involved in the beginning, just to let you know.
Excellent. Yeah, keep us posted.
Someone hit the bridge the other day.
Did they?
Jeez.
And then during the 4th of July, they had cones all along the inside of the bridge, along the edge. And they took them away after we put the guardrail back in place, but it's, it was made it even trickier to have 1.25 lanes instead of 1.5 lanes on the 4th of July.
Quite narrow.
They were all the way up to the intersection waiting to get in at 6 in the morning. Anyway, that's great if you can keep that as a parking spot, because that there's so few and it just accesses so many trails.
And sure, other people use that walking and mountain biking, not to have to go on that road.
Mm-hmm.
Come down that little cart road, go around the edge of the field and cut in the corner and get right back on the railroad bed.
Mhm. Yeah. Anything else?
Not at this time.
Okay. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.